Hello, Dr. Tim. My name is Akash Kumar, and I will be presenting my research topic titled Investigation into the Formation and Management of Virtual Project Teams in Australia's Information and Communication Technology industry. So, let's get started. A little bit of background and introduction on virtual teams. So, virtual teams are usually teams consisting of geographically dispersed team members. It is generally used to leverage talent or human resource capital that might not be available locally. The advantage of using virtual teams is reduction in cost and the ability to produce quality outcomes and improve team efficiency. The current literature indicates that there is a growing interest in organizations to leverage virtual teams, given the fact that there has been a rapid advancement in available technology. And virtual teams are majorly used in ICT projects, so the research is continued in that context to identify challenges and development issues regarding virtual teams. Moving on to the research gap, the current published literature on virtual teams, specifically for ICT projects, is insufficient. In Australia, the same can be said regarding the published literature, but interestingly, there is a lot of literature for traditional project teams, but not specific to virtual teams. And the current literature is not mature enough in the sense that there are no theoretical or pragmatic solutions for the organizations to implement to address the development and organizational challenges that come with managing virtual teams. This signifies that there is a need for an exploratory and confirmatory research uh, in the context of development and management of virtual teams, specifically in ICT and ICT projects in Australia, to address the research gap. The overall literature is categorized into two sections. Uh, some of the formation and development characteristics are identified and discussed, as well as some of the organizational challenges that come with managing virtual teams. Looking at the formation and development characteristics, the first characteristic is cross-functionality, which refers to selection of team members based on their distinct or unique skill set that might be necessary for achieving project requirements. In this case, usually each team member is interdependent on one another to achieve the project objectives collectively. Some of the challenges that might arise due to possible team combinations are isolation of particular members, alienation, or some psychological barriers when working together in a team. The second characteristic is member churn, which refers to changing team composition or size due to additional requirements or change in competency requirements at different project stages or other professional or personal reasons. So this sometimes may lead to minimal dynamic interaction within the team to achieve that team cohesion to work effectively, and subcycles or subgroups forming within the group. The final characteristic addressed in the research is temporal context, which refers to team development for projects with predetermined time frame or with intentions of limited or short-term involvement. These sometimes lead to similar challenges such as able to develop effective teamwork or shared mental models, or in some cases, due to multiple roles of the leadership team within a project, it might lead to dispersed engagement. Now moving ahead with some of the organizational challenges. The first aspect of an organization addressed here is knowledge management, which refers to systematic and active management of all types of knowledge uh, related to project or organization that might be tacit or explicit in nature, so that it can be leveraged in existing projects or future projects to achieve organizational goals. Some of the challenges that organizations usually come across are failure to centralize that project knowledge properly, and the ability to streamline the access to each team member or the necessary decision makers of a project. Second aspect within an organization is the ability of team members to effectively communicate via the existing organizational ICT infrastructure. Here, the primary challenge involves the ability of team members to communicate the intent behind the communication due to lack of social presence, and also added responsibility on members to proficiently use the available technology to maximize the richness in communication and achieve project objectives. The third aspect is the ability of an organization to uh, develop trust among team members working virtually. It is considered the most important by many researchers due to its impact on project sustainability. Some of the challenges is there is a lack of social engagement among the team members that facilitates developing trust, and the physical distance also contributes to manifestation into a psychological distance that ultimately inhibits the development of trust. The final aspect addressed in the research is leadership of virtual teams. In addition to traditional project team leader challenges, in virtual teams, the project lead has an added responsibility to develop the team, to achieve team cohesion and work effectively, as the organization have an expectation that such team building activities or that result in team cohesion is figured out by the team on the job instead of organizing something before the project commences. Similarly, other challenges that leaders face is sense of lack of authority in a virtual environment, as well as difficulties in building a collaborative environment that helps the team work more effectively. More challenges and correct best practices related to the challenges in formation or development, as well as related to organization, are discussed in more detail in the report. For the research design, first a literature review, which was systematic and extensive, was carried out to identify the existing challenges in a virtual team, as well as review challenges that a traditional project team might face, and try to contextualize it in for virtual teams. The next step in the research would be development of a survey or questionnaire for data collection purposes. For this research, Google Forms would be used to develop the survey or questionnaire. It would include questions based on the themes, challenges, and best practices summarized in the literature review. And it would also seek to identify additional information related to managing and development of virtual teams. The next step would be the online distribution of the developed questionnaire or survey to people who have led their virtual project teams or are currently working in a virtual project team, and collect data regarding the identified issue areas for analysis and interpretation. Final step would be data analysis and development of a report. uh, the research follows a mixed method approach. So the data analysis would seek to confirm some of the identified challenges regarding managing and development of virtual teams, as well as try to explore unknown challenges previously not identified in the literature. All these aspects and the results of the data analysis would be presented in a report that would rank the challenges based on priority, and also rank the best practices for each of those challenges, as well as provide some pragmatic solutions and solutions that can be implemented in an organization to address these challenges. In this slide, the research limitations and some of the ethical considerations that would be implemented to carry out this research are listed. So some of the limitations are the research is contextualized to address issues and challenges of managing and developing virtual teams only to Australia's ICT sector. The research seeks to confirm and explore only limited areas of focus considering virtual teams. Additional challenges and use of data analysis and collection methods are restricted due to the finite time frame of this research. Now moving on to the ethical considerations for carrying out this research. The survey questions would ensure that any unrelated or confidential information is not being asked from the participant. The response from the survey will be kept private, and the participant can withdraw from the survey anytime they request. The purposes of the research and information related to the researcher would be clearly stated before the survey is started. The questionnaire or survey would go through multiple revisions with the help of academic staff, and also go through ethics approval in QUT before distribution for participation. Now moving on to the schedule that is broadly illustrated here. Project would technically start on 26 Feb, that is the start date for first semester, and then literature review would finish around 22nd May, that is towards the end of the semester, semester 1. And then the project proposal would be submitted on 29th, and the questionnaire development would be finished by 3rd August. And then it would be sent for ethics approval, which was expected to be finished by 17th August. And after the ethics approval, the survey would be distributed, and data will be collected and expected to be finished by 21st September. And finally, the data would be analyzed and report would be developed to end the project by 23rd October, that is the end date for semester 2 2020. Finally, coming on to the expected outcomes and benefits of this research, the research would provide an understanding of the differences in challenges that comes with managing virtual teams in comparison to the traditional project teams. It would provide a ranked list of development and organizational challenges that comes with managing virtual teams. The research would also provide a ranked list of current and possible mitigation strategies that might be used to address these challenges. Due to a mixed method approach, the exploratory nature of this research would seek to identify unknown challenges and barriers that are preventing Australian ICT projects from implementing highly virtual teams, in the sense that the virtuality of the team is not just the client being at a different location and the entire development or project team as it at a separate location. Instead, there is a virtuality among the team members as well. Finally, the research would recommend some practical solutions that can be implemented by organizations to generate more value by leveraging virtual teams. So with that, it's the end of the presentation. Thank you for your time. Have a great day, and bye bye.